Hey, what's up gamers? Cheetah here, bringing you a quick and easy achievement walkthrough for the new Human Fall Flat level hike that was just added today. I'm going to run you through the level and show you how to unlock all of the new achievements. They also added another level called Candyland. I already have a video for that one as well if you want to check it out after this one. But for this video here, I'm going to be covering the hike level. I also want to cover Human Fall Flat 2 in the future as well, so if you're new, be sure to subscribe for that. But starting off here, we're going to unlock the Prepared for Winter achievement. So you want to head through the door here, make your way into the bedroom, grab the bed, pull that aside to reveal a hidden trapdoor, and then we're going to head across inside the next room just back here, and then make your way down the hallway, and then back here we can find a stepladder in the little room. We're going to grab this and drag it back down the hallway. And then we're going to use that just back here to boost ourselves up and grab the hammer on the shelf there. So climb up here, grab the hammer, and then we're going to take that back into the bedroom here. And we're going to use it to break the lock on the trap door just inside here. You should be able to hear it break. And then once it's busted, you can just grab the trap door and open it up. And then we're going to drop down here. Be careful. You can accidentally fall off the ledge if you're not careful. You want to jump across the gap and then head to the back of the room. And we're going to remove the board on the cellar door. So head back here, grab the board, remove that plank there. And then we're going to head outside. You want to open up both of the doors here. So open up this one. And then open up this one as well. And then once the cellar door is open, you want to roll the barrel down inside the basement, and that's going to unlock the Prepared for Winter achievement. Make sure you get it all the way down here, just like that there. And then eventually the achievement will unlock. For some reason, the achievements are very delayed in popping, but it does unlock after a few seconds here, just like that there. And then once you have that achievement here, we're going to use the rope and we're going to swing across down to the little island just down there. Once you make your way down to the island here, you want to take the path on the left side, climb up here, and then make your way up towards the left. And over here we have two options. The faster route, we can take the tree, or if you want to do the slower route, you would take the axe. You would break off all of the branches on this log here, and then you would slide it over there and you can make a bridge to get across. So I'll show you where the axes are real quick, but I'm going to take the faster route. Again, feel free to choose and do whichever one you want, but there's an axe in that little tent over there. And then if you come up to the right, there's another one just on this log right up here. Now, if you want to copy me and take the faster route, you can just jump on the trees, and we can use the trees to jump across the gap instead. But of course, cutting off the branches of the tree is a lot funner, so feel free to do whichever one you want. But either way, just follow me along and make your way across the gap. And I'll see you on the other side. So I like to climb on this tree here and then just jump all the way over here. And then once you get across to the other side, again, we have two choices. We can either climb up this rock right there and then use the rope to swing across and make your way up top, or again, you can take the easier route, which is just to climb the tree right over here. So again, feel free to do whichever one you want. Of course, I'm going to take the easier route and climb this tree here. So I made it look way harder than it actually is. I was struggling to get up here. But once you get your way to the top, you can jump across to the rock over on the right side. Either way, just meet me at the top. And then once we get all the way up top here, we're going to head over to the left. So follow this path over here. And then over here, there's going to be a little waterfall. And be careful of the rocks that fall down. I almost forgot about those. But just over here, there's going to be a little waterfall, and you can either take the path behind the waterfall, or the easier path is to just jump down onto the rocks right here. So I'm going to jump down here, and you can climb up, and you can use the rocks to make your way up top. And then once you make your way across to the other side, you want to head over to the left towards this tree here. Drop down, and then we need to grab the hose right there hanging from the tree. And then take that to the deflated lifeboat. And you can plug in either side into the back right here. It's always a little tricky finding the hole, but grab it, plug that in there. I got pretty lucky with that one. And then we're going to head towards these two planks. You want to remove the one on the left side, and then that's going to reveal a red pump. And we're going to use that to pump up the boat. So grab this plank, move that out of the way, and then grab the pump. Try to be careful with it. You can accidentally tip it over, and then it's really tricky to flip it back over. So just try to grab it low, slowly drag it over here and take your time. And then get it close to the lifeboat. And then just grab the other side of the hose and plug it in, and then we can start pumping it up. I was really scared to move the pump any closer since I didn't want to tip it over like I did in my previous playthrough, so this part took me a lot longer than it should have. But hopefully you're lucky with it too and you don't accidentally tip it over and you can find the hole pretty quickly. And then once you get both sides plugged in, just climb up top here and start pumping away. You got to pump it at least 10 times, and then that'll air up the lifeboat. Once you get the boat fully aired up, you can grab it and push it down into the water and then quickly jump in, and we're going to ride the boat down the river. If you're like me, you'll accidentally mess up and you'll just have to hang on to the side for dear life. And you'll have a pretty crazy ride going down here. If for whatever reason you mess up, you can always pause and load the last checkpoint and try again. But for now, just ride the boat down the river, and then once we get to the misty area just down here, over on the right side, there's a little beach. Once you're next to that beach, you want to quickly jump out of the boat and then kind of try to get up the beach as quickly as you can before you fall down the waterfall. Alright, so in the next area here, we're going to make a little makeshift bridge. So grab the plank, you want to drag it over towards the broken bridge right over here. And then you can drop it next to the tree. You want to grab this board and kind of push it down just a little bit. Right about there. And then we're going to grab the board behind us, and we're going to place it next to this one. And it's going to take you about 3 or 4 boards, and then eventually you'll be able to make it across to the other side. I'm going to do it in 3 just because I'm kind of silly. But you will see I accidentally died here, but it's not a big deal. You'll just respawn right in this area here. So you can grab some more boards back here on that little hut there. Place as many as you need. And if you angle this one kind of sideways like this here, you can do it in 3, but feel free to do it in 4 if you need to. And like I said, I accidentally fell down right there, but doesn't really matter because you respawn right here. But then go ahead and make your way across the bridge. You can also jump on the rope if you need to, but in this next section here, we can unlock the human thawed flat achievement for freeing the cardboard cutout. So grab the torch there from the campfire, make your way up the hill here, and then take a left and head up this hill and into the cave just back here. So if at any point you accidentally mess up, you can always pause and reload the last checkpoint. So we're going to make our way into this cave here. There's some water, so be careful not to accidentally extinguish your torch. So follow the path down here, drop down, and then in this area here, kind of towards the left, there's 3 paths. We're going to take the one with the water right here. Again, be careful not to extinguish your flames. Hold the torch high. And then back here on the right side, you're going to see the frozen cardboard cutout, and we're going to use the flames to melt that there. So just melt him. And then again, it's very delayed in popping, but that will eventually unlock the human thawed flat achievement there. And now we can let go of the torch, and we're going to head back the way we came. And then we're going to take a right, And instead of going back up top, we're going to take this path back here. Also, there was the achievement finally. You can drop down here. If you wanted to, you could parkour across the rocks, but it's just quicker to drop right down, climb up on this side here, make your way through the cave. And then at the end back here, just climb up the rocks and make your way to the other side. So in this next area here, we have a unique mechanic with the seed. Whenever it's in the sunlight, it'll change into a big cube, and then when it's in the shade, it'll shrink down back to its normal size. So grab the seed, move it over here to the ledge, and we're going to use that to jump across, and then we're going to push the planks over and create a path so that way we can get across. So jump over here, push this one forward, and then we're going to push this one backwards. And then once you have the path laid out for you, you can grab the cube and we're going to drag it across. Alright, so once you get over to the other side here, you want to drag it into the shade, and then it'll shrink down into the smaller size. And now over on the right side, we're going to grab the pot on the campfire just over here. And now it's a little bit tricky, but you need to flip the pot over upside down. And then we're going to cover the seeds, that way we can get it through the next area. If it's grown, then it won't be able to fit through the gap, so just flip the pot over and then eventually cover up the seed. This took me way longer than it should have. Even on my third playthrough, I was still struggling. But flip the pot over, hide the seed under there, and then once you get it down, you can grab the handle, and we're going to drag it around off to the left there. Yep, still struggling. Third playthrough, by the way, guys. Still struggling. Still struggling. Jeez, that took me way longer than it should have. Anyways, once you get it covered, bring it back here. Grab onto these sticks, throw them off to the side out of the way. And then drag the pot through the archway. And then in the next area here, after we get it through the arch, we're going to use the seed to climb up onto the rock just over there. Alright, so once you get to the other side here, you can uncover the seed. And then we're going to use that to jump up top onto the rock mountain just up here. And then we're going to unhook the rope, keep hanging onto it, and then we're going to drop down, and we're going to hook it onto the loop just down here. Also, for whatever reason, if you need it, there is a little hidden backup chair right back there. So for the next section here, it's very, very tricky. We have to bring the seed with us. So grab this, drag it over into the shade, and then with one hand, grab the seed, with your other hand, grab the rope. I like to do it in one kind of swing, but you may have to swing a couple times. But try to grab the rope as high up as you can, unhook it, and then swing across, land over on the other side. Again, it's very, very tricky. It may take you a couple of attempts, but you can always load the last checkpoint. We have to bring the seed with us into the next area here in order to progress. So just try your best. You may have to swing on the rope to get some momentum and then kind of get up top. But once you get over here, we can place it into the sunlight just over here. And then we're going to take the path on the left and head up top. And then once you get up top here, we're going to grab the rock boulder and we're going to pull it down in order to cover the hole there in the floor. So come over here, grab the rock, and then pull it down and quickly drop down through the hole before it squishes you. And then if you do it correctly, that'll block the sunlight. And it'll shrink the seed so that we can get it through the small hole here. So grab that, squeeze through, And then once you get to the other side here, we're going to drag the seed over to the rock mountain just on the other side. So drag it over here. And then we're going to hide it in the shade just beside the mountain here. For some reason, it didn't want to shrink for me. But you want to shrink it, and then we're going to place it next to the 2 logs coming out of the ground there. So shrink it down, and then hug the mountainside. Place it down here in the shade for later. And then once you have it somewhere around there, we're going to grab the board over on the right side here. And we're going to place it on the 4 logs in order to create a shade for the seed. So place it just like that. And then grab the seed, squeeze under the board, and place it in the planting hole. And then once the seed disappears into the hole there, you can remove the board. And then that's going to grow into a giant tree for us. And we're going to use that to progress, so you can climb around behind the rock mountain just back here. And then make your way up top. And then once you get up top here, we're going to use the tree, climb all the way up top, and make your way up the mountain. Once you get up the mountain here, we're going to make our way up the hill, and then we're going to climb up the tower there. A few of the steps are missing here, so just be careful and use the edges. Once you get up top here, just grab your favorite colored hook, and then we're going to use that to grind across the pole into the next area. So once you get down to the next section here, if you want, you can head inside the cabin and explore, but most importantly, we're going to get the speed skating achievement for completing 3 laps around the glacier here in 60 seconds. So you can either take the left or right path. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take the left one just because that's what I prefer. So the hard part isn't doing it in 60 seconds. It's just making it around 3 times in general. So you'll follow along the path here. There's a few gaps you have to jump across. And then once you complete 1 cycle, that'll be 1 lap, and then you got to do it 2 more times. So just try to keep your momentum, keep on going, jump across the gaps here. I think I did it in around like 50 seconds, so you should have 10 seconds to spare. Really, the timing's not the hard part, it's just making it around in general. If you do fail, you can pause and reload the last checkpoint and just try again. But once you complete your 3rd lap right here, you can just exit and head back up where we came and make your way just up here. And again, the achievements are very, very delayed in popping, as you'll see here, but I did do it. I did unlock the achievement. It just takes a few seconds to unlock. So once you unlock the achievement, you can take the path directly in front of us here on top of the glacier. Follow this path down, slide into the next area, just over here on the left. Jump across the gap right here, and then make your way over to this next section, and then you'll find the rocks and the grassy area just over here. Make your way down here, and we're going to climb up the little rock hill on the right side, and we're going to use that to jump across to the other side. So head up here and jump across. Once you get to the other side here, you want to follow the path down to the right. And then once you get to the end, there's a swinging tree. We're going to grab onto the branch there and use that to swing across. And then from there, we're going to turn to the left and we're going to climb up the hill just over here. And then we're going to make our way to the very top. And then just up here, you'll find some rocks. You want to grab the biggest one right here. And then just in front of us, we're going to drop down the hill, bring the rock with you, and then behind the tree, there's a little rock hill just over here and some more rocks. We're going to place the rock next to these two right here. And then using the rock, you want to climb up and jump up onto the ledge. For some reason, I had a hard time getting up, so just ignore that. Make your way up here. And then we're going to drop down on the other side. And then just over here, you want to grab the hiker's backpack, and we're going to pull it next to the mountain just over here. Leave it right there for later. And you can actually sprint up this hill just by spamming the jump button like crazy. And you can skip and make your way all the way up here. And then once you get up to the top here, we have a little crane machine that we're going to lower down using the crank on the right side. So grab this and lower it all the way down. And then we're going to pick up the backpack. And then once you have it fully lowered, you can drop down. And we're going to use the hook here, or the clip, and we're going to hook that onto the backpack. You can use any side that has a little loop. It did take me a little bit here, but at least it didn't take me as long as the seed and the pot did. So hook that up just like that there, or you can use the other side if you need to. And then once you have it hooked up, we're going to make our way back up the mountain, and we're going to pull it up with the crane. Once you get it pulled up here, we need to turn the crane. You can either do that by just kind of swinging your body to the right, or you can use the other handle and turn it that way. Whichever one you prefer, it doesn't really matter. Just get the backpack up here on the cliff. And then eventually, once you get it up and all the way over as far as you can there, we're going to loosen it so that way we can pull it over to the mountainside there and make our way all the way up to the very top. So once you get it up here, just give it some slack. And then once you have enough rope, you can drag the backpack over to the mountain there. Be careful not to let it fall down like it almost did for me. Just drag it over to the ledge here. And then we're going to use that and jump up top. Now once you get up top here, be careful, it's going to get a little bit icy. I like to jump in order to prevent myself from falling off. So just hug the wall, keep jumping, jump across the gap just over here, and make your way up top. Once you get up top here, you'll get a checkpoint, but be careful, the bridge is very dangerous and half of the boards break. Once you get to the end there, that's going to be the end of the level. You can check out my guide for the Candyland level as well if you haven't already. But yeah, I think that's it for this game. I should have some guides for Human Fall Flat 2 once that releases. But that's it for now, so thanks for watching. Leave a like on the video if the guide was helpful. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Huge shout out to all my awesome Patreon and YouTube members. Special thanks to those in tiers 3 and 2, including Jax Jags, Tim G84, Rock Mono 44, and Eagle 069.